I come with breaking news.
Oh
So
Jesus!
I hope it's not dead to a big.
That's the only news that FA can deliver in this life. That's the only
that's what
news.
I've seen online. It's not my
Oh
fault. I'm a
God!
journalist like
Oh
you.
God! Oh God! Okay, please. Let me go to IG, I beg. Please. What happened? What happened? What happened? What happened again?
Latest breaking news. That guy, Big Low, he's dead.
No, big low. Too
They
short.
call me
Sorry.
Big Low.
Yeah.
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 Yay!
Oh my God. What
Yeah.
the hell,
I know
though?
he was
What is...
sick one time, sure, but
Hey, see how
that was
slim he became, oh.
yeah.
Let me go and find him. Why am I just the last to get this gist
Look
right now?
how
This is
slim he
not.
is. Haba.
Please, why
Haba.
people getting this
I
breaking?
saw on
Well, it's
Linda.
from Twitter, sure.
Lotana Udezi. Oh,
Hey, what was
I
the face
remember
again?
that song. After
Yeah.
so many months of judging it, it finally catches me. COVID-19. Please pray for me. Oh,
Okay, it's
he...
COVID.
Oh, God.
But he
Please.
was sick before COVID. Maybe because he had, like if you have any illness
Yeah,
now.
maybe he was at high risk, so he has been
Yeah.
dodging it.
Mm.
He announced he had
Hey,
contacted the novel virus on December 11th. Oh God.
Yeah.
you know what? Since we're starting there, I think we should just start. I mean, like since we're
We
already
just
there,
start
let's
with
just start with
COVID, as
COVID. So
in, because
let's just
ah,
introduce that. Please, everybody in the podcast, welcome again.
mm,
I am Olori.
I am Eka, oh, I am Eka. Still the same Eka.
And I am FA.
Okay, so the goal for today was to do a rundown of like the major topics that have hit this year. And of course, COVID is a big one, and we're going to do that last. But since some journalists have brought the news to the forefront, any
Hmm.
objections, we just starting
At the
at
peak of
at
the end.
at the peak of it, which is this COVID thing. So when I was thinking about this, actually, I do have a spotlight. Sorry, let me just spotlight this really, really quickly. My team, Arsenal, in the building, played Chelsea yesterday. I don't know what juju that we used, but we won, and we
After
put up
many fails and
a
relegation.
non-embarrassing
Yes.
performance. So I want to just give God the glory for this testimony in my mouth. But back to COVID situation. I was thinking about COVID in relation to some of the other diseases that we've had, like SARS and
Yeah.
Ebola, even the bird flu, the H1, is it H1B1 and BH1N1 or whatever they call the bird flu. And I'm not understanding, I guess, where we got it wrong, because I don't think any of those other diseases were less contagious. I may be wrong, because if I think back to Ebola, right?
Yeah.
I know many of our medical staff that died because of contact.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I'm just curious as to like why was this one so or is it because the death is not as violent? I know like with Ebola that like there was bleeding, there was like it just seemed
The symptoms were
more
terrible.
violent. Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe and I think the survival rate was like once you got it, like yeah, one leg is already out, right? So
Mm,
maybe that's why we didn't take Corona seriously. And even if you look at how numbers are coming back in the second wave, I feel like people are like, I may not die. There's a good chance that I will be alive. The death rate is not as high as some of the other diseases, so people are taking chances with it. But I wonder if that's the reason why, because from a transmission I didn't look at the science, but it just seemed to me that these other diseases were also easy to transmit. So I don't know why
mm,
the world didn't go into a panicked lockdown situation as well,
yeah.
or if we just contained things better, with like I'm just not sure where things went left in terms of how the world as a whole handled um COVID.
I think it hit all at the same time. And as he said, other illnesses that have come have been very, very what do you call it? Have been very shocking to the body. So there are things that you will know that this is not ordinary. But for the fact that COVID came in and is a flu, so you're thinking, okay, like flus all around the world, you'll see that it is a normal thing, especially when weather changes and all those things, and it's easily like it's contagious. So I think everybody just thought, okay, it's the normal flu season, so it's flu. You'd have your whatever you drink and you'll be fine. But then they realized that this was not now any normal flu. So before they were even able to test it, and for the fact that it hit everywhere in the world around the same time, although they said it started in China, I think it was already in most countries when it was happening in China, just that it hadn't developed to the 14 days or 7 days that it started showing itself. Do you get? So I
Right.
think that is what happened. And for the fact that in the beginning, when it was killing, maybe the deaths were like the normal amount of deaths that people have, but then you now start realizing that the amount of people dying, and with it come, let's say it came to, let's say we're in the UK, for example, and it came into the UK, and then you don't know you're carrying, the person doesn't know they are carrying it, then they now infect many people. And the next thing you see is that um all of a sudden, maybe 10 people it's affected, and those 10 people 14 days later, maybe 8 of them will start showing flu symptoms. So it's not even that the thing would happen immediately and then, like Ebola, you start having the symptoms or something. And I
Yeah.
think Ebola didn't spread around the world like COVID has. So
Mm.
Ebola could be contained in the countries that it affected. Even the other ones that happened, I think there was something SARS, they didn't happen globally. So it was
So
able to be contained, I believe.
that was where I was about to go with it, in the sense that, is COVID a rich person's disease? And I'll explain. So
Hmm.
Ebola was very much an African continent disease,
Yeah.
right? So the
Yeah.
containment was in Africa. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how much cross border traveling that we have, because
Mm.
it
Mm.
because I think, I think Sierra Leone, Liberia, maybe Guinea were like hot spots.
Mostly West
Um,
Africa,
Yeah.
to be
yeah,
honest.
mostly West
Yeah.
Africa, but Ghana and Nigeria didn't really have a pandemic of Ebola. To be honest, we had some high profile deaths, but we didn't have a pandemic. If that makes sense, the way
Mm.
that some of these other countries had. So maybe that speaks to maybe not as much inter country travel in Africa, maybe. And if I think back to the bird flu, SARS thing, it was a very much an Asian
Yep.
thing, right? Maybe China and other parts of Asia. I don't even think India had so much of an exposure, to be honest, to some of this SARS and bird flu thing. So I wonder if what is giving COVID legs is the fact that it's people that are traveling. Like, if you have money to travel, you know, then you are taking it to a different parts of the world. Do you get what I'm saying? Because cruise
Mm.
ships was a big transmission ground, right? And that is again people that have money to be doing, intercontinental cruising or flying up and down here and there. And maybe the poor, mingling with the rich in this instance. Whereas maybe in the other diseases, it was really, the poor was the one that was having the disease, and it stayed
Yeah.
with the poor, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense.
I think that's what just happened. Now, somebody, it's easy for, as you said, Asia, Africa, it would have been easy for them to say, okay, let us stop travel. Already, if you even look at a lot of these foreign websites, they're already warning you against some African countries safe. So
Mm.
it's not even desirable to travel there, except you're going for business and it's crucial you actually
Right.
travel there. So on a normal day, they already tell people not to go. So it's easy to just block them off or block these countries off. But when you now start talking about a pandemic that is happening all around the world, you're thinking, as UK or as US or as Germany, will you block US? Will you block your European brothers and sisters? So it now starts becoming dicey because I remember in the UK, it had reached a point. I mean, if the UK is an island, we are seeing that in in Italy, the thing is becoming crazy. Close
Mm.
things up. They didn't do it quickly
Right.
until all of a sudden UK started facing worse than what Italy faced. As in,
Yeah.
most European countries were watching Italy, but you were not doing any, like it's like you were you had vaccine against it already. You
Mm.
do you get what I mean? So it was that kind of, okay, how do we close the borders to how does me, Germany, close the border to Italy? Do you get what I mean? So it's that
Mm.
kind of thing. Hmm.
But are we, so even on the idea of, because I think one of the hot button political issues, whether it's in the US, whether it's the UK, whether it's Nigeria, is, oh, did we close borders soon enough?
Mm,
Did we lock down, soon enough?
soon enough,
And
yeah.
I keep on thinking that that's a bit of a political question,
Mm,
Mm.
in the sense that if there were no repercussions to closing borders and locking down, I think many governments will do it without thinking twice, right? Because
Yeah.
it's expensive to care for COVID, like, to handle COVID protocols. But at the
yeah.
same
Mm.
time, you have people saying that we need to work. If you work in the service industry, there's no work from home um, for
Policy
you.
that can work,
So
yeah.
if things
Yeah.
are locked down, then you are home. And if you are home, then the government has to, you know,
Pay you.
take, pay you or take care of you in a sense. And the government doesn't have an unlimited um, budget. So even though I feel like some of our governments, especially in the US and maybe in Nigeria as well, are not ones that we have a lot of trust in, I feel like that was it's a hard call. Do you get what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Mm.
In like, do you not frustrate, but do you put small businesses or even big businesses, like many of the airlines, right,
Mm.
were first to get hit, because if borders are closed, then nobody's flying in or out,
Yeah.
right? So I think maybe we didn't give the governments enough, I won't say credit, but enough understanding in terms of that balance between, do we close down, do we lock down, do we, versus we need some economic activity to still occur. I think it's a delicate balance.
I agree with you. It's delicate, right? It's very
Mm-hmm.
delicate. And it is this kind, even till today. I feel so bad for anybody that is a president, a governor in government at this point, because they don't actually know what to do. When you think everything is getting better, they'll say new strain and all that. So still till today, they don't know what to do. But the issue is that whatever they were trying to avoid economically, it has hit
Yeah.
them now. So that's the problem. The problem is that they probably did not give COVID as much. I don't, I know it's bad to say, as much respect as they should have, thinking
Mm-hmm.
that it was something that will die down. And then what
Mm.
happened? What happened was that the same economy they were trying to avoid from collapsing or from getting to the point where you have to start paying people to stay at home, it has happened, or it has happened in many places. A lot of people are suffering, people are out of jobs. So I don't, but the issue is, I don't know if they close borders fast enough, the thing would have not still spread.
Yeah.
Because the problem with this COVID is that closed border or open border or isolation or what do you call it, lockdown, no, the thing is just moving as it is moving. So I don't even know what I like. Even they'll say wear mask, or people wear mask 2 meters apart, or don't mix. So still, like, the
Thank
thing
Most of
is
you.
still passing.
Thank you
Hmm.
for
yeah.
taking us there. 'Cause I was going to say that, because even if we look at Nigeria with the cases spiking, from a policy standpoint, you're required to take a test. I think 3 to 7 days before you come in,
Exactly.
and then
Yes.
when you come in, and this is where the Nigerians like to add Maggi and salt. When you come in, you're meant to self isolate for 7 days,
Everybody's
Mm-hmm.
experiencing.
upon which on day 7, right, you take a test to reconfirm your negativity. There you can be released into the wild to do as you
Yes.
please.
Yeah.
Many Nigerians, it seems to me, are either coming up with fake positive tests from where they're coming from,
Mm-hmm.
or more likely is they are not observing that self-isolation
Yes.
Mm.
for 7 days when they come into the country. They're already mingling with people. I heard that
Mm.
if you wear mask these days, it's like you are being too
Yeah, it is
much.
a taboo. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you're being too fancy.
Yeah.
right?
And the other thing is that 7 days test that you need to do in Nigeria. I know somebody who called. Madam, oh, I want to do test.
Yep.
The madam on the other side say which test?
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Which to your point now brings us back to where they go, because you're not the first person that has told me about because you know how, because from what I understand, if you apply to come to Nigeria online, you have to have paid and
paid for
selected
it.
a testing
Exactly.
center for your 7 days test when you get here.
Yes.
And it seems like many of these locations are ghost
Not active.
centers. Yeah, not
Yes.
active, or the staff is not aware that they are a COVID
Test
19
center. Then
test
they'll not
center.
tell you you now only can do the test in Abuja or Lagos. One general test center
Exactly. Would defeat the purpose of having it in different in
locations.
different,
Yeah.
and you've already prepaid. So if you were going to take money from me, you can't claim that it's a money issue, right? I've already
Mm.
prepaid for the test. So for
Yep.
me,
Yeah.
that way the government has failed us, I would say, but also we are not taking it. I want to call out Shido, 'cause I think, like, I saw the Shido program. I don't like, as they say, mask is required on entry, but upon entry, there's no
Yeah.
enforcement of the masks being on. And when
And
you're,
they're
you're, you're,
singing.
you're dancing and singing and you're in the spirits, like there's no social distancing. So for me, I just feel like, did we really need to have Shiloh this year? Was I
Every
needed?
year, oh, it has
I think
happened. Why
the
can't they
governor,
just do it online?
yeah,
Huh?
exactly. Governor of Lagos State has told churches like your crossover. I don't even want like no kini in the church. Just know what you're doing there.
Even Cubana, look at how packed the club was when they were
Yeah,
Uh-uh.
kicking people out. And I don't think I saw one person with a mask, because mask is not good for the gram
How
when
will
I
you
taking
yeah,
picture.
drink now? How will you drink your Hennessy and Ace of Spade?
Exactly. So to me,
Oh,
also we're not helping um
no.
ourselves. We're not helping us by taking it like is an easy, like even this big load now.
yeah.
If you already had pre-existing conditions, only God
Why?
knows.
Yeah,
Because him saying that I've been dodging it. I'm like, what were you doing? As in, what does dodging
doing
mean? Do you just stay home, or are you going out and hoping that you will not get, as in?
good.
Mm.
And he already had similarly had a compromised
Yeah. Immune
maybe immune system or
system.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had many high profile, from Abba Kiari, Dan Foster, this
Mm-hmm.
guy in is he Oyo State, Ajimobi, many
Yeah,
high
be doing,
profile.
but
Yeah,
then
Ibidu, but is Ibidu a confirmed? Because that has been not a
will they
clear
tell
case.
us?
That's a fair
Hmm.
point. I heard that families are hiding
Yeah,
if it's COVID,
Yeah.
if it's COVID
uh,
and stuff.
and still having grand burial ceremonies. So I'm
Exactly.
like, I don't, like, we're not helping ourselves, to be honest. We're not helping ourselves. I don't want to tell me that, oh, I'm doing a small wedding. Sister, how many people are there? 300 people in a small wedding. So what is not
That's
a
not
big
small
wedding?
now.
I mean, that's a small wedding for Nigeria.
Nigeria.
What's a big wedding? So like, I just feel like
1,000.
we're not
Yes,
taking
1,000.
our at least Kafi and Gedoni.
They seem to have been the only one of the only people there. Like maybe it's just a school of 20 in
Mm.
the a class.
Yeah, because I don't. So I think even us too, we're not helping. Like, I think
We were not.
there's also massive distrust in the Nigerian
Mm.
populace about
Yeah.
the
Yes.
existence of COVID. So some people are
Correct.
still doubting.
Mm.
Or
Yes.
I think it's mainly, I won't say mainly among the poor, but I may be wrong, in the sense that I think there's also think that is a rich man
Rich man's thing.
thing. Do you get what I'm saying? If for those that travel and fly abroad, it's not going to hit us
Mm,
here. And I'm like,
Can
if
I
you are
also
working
say,
for a rich man, like, yeah, sorry, go
yeah,
on.
that's
but
true.
for me, I feel like some of our daddies and mummies too, they're not taking this thing seriously because it's
I
like
will
your
not
children are
disagree.
telling you that, and you are there saying it's nothing. I don't
And
understand
your
how.
higher risk.
I
Oh.
do you, exactly your higher risk. It's like I've done my best to, like I've told you. So if anything happens,
Nah,
it's
you
time to
cannot
meet
cry
God.
more than the
As
you
in,
can't cry more than the bereaved.
exactly, a
That's the
lot
At
of
truth.
older
this
people, they're hugging, going for parties and things like that, and it's like
burial,
some.
yeah, my dad
Burials.
was going for a burial.
Burials.
I'm like,
Ah.
who? Like, I'm
uh,
like, the person already died. Let those that are alive secure
Hmm.
As
their
in,
lives. You
Hmm.
know?
Me, I
mm,
know many people of ages that are high risk that are going for burial every
Going
weekend, going for
exactly.
party every
And
weekend.
mind you, Nigeria as of right now has no credible plan for vaccination. No,
Uh-huh.
no credible plan. 'Cause at least in the abroad, I think the
They've
first batch went
deposited
to
money.
healthcare. In fact, but even past, they've brought money. They've already
Yeah.
received batch one
Exactly.
of the vaccine and are giving it to
Nigeria is not even on
medical
the list.
staff. The next batch coming, I think this week or next week, is going to high risk individuals. In
Individuals.
Nigeria, I've never heard of, okay, I've ordered X amount of
Mhm.
vaccines. So all these old people, like, sit down.
Another issue is that the Nigerian government have allegedly used it to scam help. So they've used it.
Yeah.
That is another thing. So unfortunately, if the government is using it because they don't care for the populace, using it
Mm,
to siphon money, the populace would think, it's another snake ate money situation. So it's all fake. So there's
We
no
know the
COVID.
Indomie issue now.
Exactly.
Or the
So how can
Indomie that was donated.
exactly. So how can they now believe when they can see that the government is lying about it? So it's like, okay, are these numbers actually real or not?
yeah.
So as it stands in Nigeria, nobody knows whether those people, the numbers were correct. That is
Correct.
why they will believe it is a rich man's sickness because they were the ones that flew abroad. So whether the
Yeah.
numbers are correct, whether people are dying normally or it is out of hunger or it is out of lack of light, lack of clean water.
Mm,
Like there are many things killing Nigerians. They are not just recording it because there's no security social number like the US, for example, that we know the people that are dying. So people are just
yeah.
dying, especially in the north. They are just dying, 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 dying. Anyhow, they are burying people. So we don't know what is happening in our country, whether or not. Even like I would even extend it to our continent, whether or not it is COVID or it is not COVID. Because even the people abroad do not even know. Because I remember at one point there was a country that they were saying, oh, are the deaths actually COVID or there are people that had other, are they bunching
Yeah.
everything to become a COVID death?
COVID.
Or
Yeah.
they just died a natural death and then because they died around the COVID time, they have added
Mm,
it to COVID. So
No, but I
the
think
whole
they should
thing.
bunch though. And this is the reason why. I know I was speaking to like a medical, like I think the person is a nurse, and the person
Mm,
was saying, and the person is a nurse for kidney
ailment.
mm,
ailment, and they were saying how like, oh, things are better now because there was a point in time where they were seeing 60 COVID patients a day. Now they're seeing 12
Mm,
to 8.
mm,
yeah.
For me, I think another doctor now told me that the issue or what was concerning him is that if I'm used to seeing 12 and now I'm seeing 24, things are going to slip through the cracks. So maybe
Mm,
mm,
an ailment that you could have survived,
you will
right?
not, you'll die
Because
from.
of the pressure on the system from dealing with COVID, right?
mm,
We may miss some things about your situation and you may
Mm,
die because of it. So for me,
yeah.
it may not be a COVID sick, triggered death, but it's a
yeah.
consequence of the pressure that COVID
Mm,
has
And the
put
lack
on the
of staff
system.
self.
Because they are
yeah.
human beings too, like they are human beings too, and you cannot be a doctor in 6 months. So we cannot
Mm,
Mm,
ramp up our doctor numbers in
yeah.
in 6 months, right? So the whole pressure of staff, of equipment, of because
Mm,
even them too, they are scared. Do you get what I'm saying?
yeah.
And
yeah.
PPE, so to me, I know like earlier on, PPE was like,
Shortages and all that.
exactly. So would I touch you as much if I didn't I don't have enough PPE in the
Hmm.
house? No. So for me, I feel like they should burn them because you died as a result of COVID's
Mm,
pressure on the system.
Yeah.
mm,
But anyway, let's talk about maybe COVID impact on businesses for a quick second. I think maybe part of the reason why Nigerians are skeptical is because I don't want to have to close my business like this year. How many
yeah.
like your
How
sales
many
have been
times?
have been
Yeah.
severely impacted, and there's no palliative coming from your government, so
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you have to hustle for yourself. Let's not add the fact that doing NSARS for maybe almost 2 weeks or a month,
People lost stuff.
one, you weren't selling as much, to be honest, because it was blocked, right? Then
Yeah.
two, when the hoodlums took over, your shops were vandalized. So there's a lot of loss in the year, if that makes sense. So from a business standpoint, like, is there, like, how do you position for next year? Like, do you go home? Or like, how do you position? Yeah, like, how, like, or maybe I'll point to the business people here. But how did you, let me ask two things. How did you survive this year? And are
Have
you
we
making
survived?
plans? Are you
Have
and
we
how are you
survived?
making and how are you making plans for next year?
When from the business, let me just speak for myself. Right now, my body, my head, my soul, everything is on a break. So it's 2020. No, it's mad. I can't even say, but I don't even know how I survived, to be honest. But the funny thing is, like, my income kind of went up, I guess, because I had to let go of some of my stuff, I guess. So, but I was able to, I guess, collect more money. But then it's like we're planning for next year, hopefully, sure. But yeah, because everybody was now going, like, many people were now doing businesses from home, all
Yeah.
types, like food, fashion, so the market became more saturated. So there's less customers for each business. So
That's
yeah,
true.
so we just have, yes, I guess next year will just be more marketing, hopefully.
Oh, wow.
To Jesus be our glory.
I'm telling you,
I said, like, this year, if you're able to live this year with your health intact, God
that is
has
it. That's the main thing. Like,
done. Yeah. And even those that say, because, like, there have been many layoffs,
Yeah,
I
you
know
have a job.
people that didn't even start, like, they hadn't even started. They were just given the offer letter.
letter,
Yeah,
then they
And then
collected it back.
exactly, and took it back, and it's like, and one girl was even like, she already moved, like, I think she
wow.
moved to a different state, because they've already
To
given her
start.
offer, everything, and you're like, sis, we cannot go on.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, they just hired, because I think they were investing in a new, like, software for the company, so they had just staffed up, right, for that department, and within 3 weeks they were like, we're suspending or putting on hold
Yeah.
the program, because we're not sure how things are going to
Happen. Yeah.
happen, or shake out. So
And it's funny how it all started with we're not sure in March. It's like, oh,
yeah,
or February. Then March, it was like, oh, we're not sure. Okay, probably in a month's time or in
I
May, everything
swear.
should be back to normal. Nobody had thought that it will, even businesses
Almost a
that
year.
were pausing things, they didn't make drastic
Yeah.
decisions because it's like, okay, this too shall pass. It did not pass. July, August, September.
yeah.
Ah,
Wow.
hmm.
Now they're saying
Even
second wave.
Second
as
wave, exactly. So that
in
that pushes us into, like, at least February at this point, because
that is the issue.
because the wave, at least in the US, for example, right? They had the Thanksgiving wave in late November. As they are recuperating from that, we're going to have the
Another wave is
Christmas
coming.
spike
Yeah.
as well.
Mm.
So for me, by into February
Yeah.
at
In
this
fact,
point,
me, I'm even
Oh.
thinking it's until it's April that would be COVID
fair,
free.
Yeah. Like
fair,
honestly.
fair.
Because with the way Christmas has gone, with the way summer went, with the way it always increases when people go out of their houses in flocks, it's like it's up and down, up and down, up and down. Now we're just hoping 31st, everybody will stay in their house because
For
that
where?
is where 31st to first, that one will now spike it up. And it is sad because businesses, from a business's perspective, okay, we'll see the numbers going down. So the business is thinking, okay, things will start going back to normal. So let me
Yeah.
keep the staff I have now
Also,
and let's do. And
yeah.
then next minute it will spike up again. They
Yeah.
have to now make people redundant. So it's up and down, up and down, up and down.
Also, extra cost for businesses because you're buying sanitizers, you're buying face masks.
Exactly.
Like
You're
I remember
buying
how I had
shields.
to buy. You're buying all these things. You're cleaning like every, maybe, I don't know. I think they said every 1 hour. So staff is cleaning. Then you're buying supplies. It's like that's not included in my cost price. How do we?
And
And people like
some businesses have to now reduce the staff working on each shift
yeah,
because you don't
yeah.
want too many people on
So
ground.
many people. Yeah.
And you're
I
not
think that
getting enough money. Hey,
enough money, exactly. People, how many people are buying? Everywhere is so dry. Like even on the
it's
weekends, I
dry.
remember there was a time when Corona first came in. Like you go out on the weekends, like half of the shops were closed because it's like we're not
Mm.
making money. Like what's the point of opening my shop? Like I rather let that rent shall go.
Hmm.
February too, we might see another spike because of Valentine's this thing.
That's that's. I thank you for taking me there because I was about to say, could we talk about love in COVID or love in, because I think many people's
Ah,
relationship really hit the rocks.
people start proposing, like all these men that can't stay alone. They're looking
No, it
for
hit the rocks. There was hit the rocks and hit high heights.
That's
So there
true.
were
yeah.
That's
two
true. There was
sides. Yeah.
both. There was
As
both.
in, people were calling, making all sorts of phone calls. You are lonely, uncle. Ordinary, how many months? You are lonely.
But
They
but
couldn't
is
hit the
that
streets.
scary? Because I'm like, are you like, is this marriage now based on a panic
But
reaction, or did you really
that's
realize that you can't do without this person? Do you get what I'm saying?
it's panic, Joe. Which can you do
Ah,
without?
Jesus, 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 Jesus.
So when the world
Divorces,
becomes normal and you can move
exactly.
around, you'll be
Exactly.
like, this
Go back.
woman, you're disturbing me.
But I think that's what happened in the sense that, like, number one, if you're a man that deals with multiple women, you're probably doing that from an insecure place. So maybe
Yeah.
if you're not able to have the same quantity that you're juggling, right?
Yeah.
You may feel that you need to just commit to one lady to get all that attention from
Mm,
her, but then once you're not able to be your real self, right?
yeah.
You now change up on her. But I think you're saying something important in the sense that typically with our partners or with our spouses or husbands or boyfriends or girlfriends,
Mm,
right? It's not every day that we see you, right? From
Mhm.
9 to 5, we're at an office location working,
yeah.
Yeah.
right? Now we're now that 9 to 5 break.
We're
We're
inside
now
the
in the
house.
in the house together. Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh,
Exactly. And to me, it broke my heart because I feel like it's almost like we are like, the reason why we're comfortable is because we're apart most of the time, because really like it's only
yeah.
weekend and evenings that you have if you're working, right? So for
Yeah.
me, that kind of broke my heart in the sense of, like, are we like, what then is
Yes.
the essence
Hard.
of our relationship? Do you get what I'm saying? if
Mm,
if if our presences irritates
each
like
other.
So
each
how do
other
we
so
move
much.
forward to marriage and then staying in the same house? How does
Yeah.
that one now happen?
No,
Hmm.
but even the same house, like you're not in the house from 9 to 5. Like you're,
That's true. That's
and if
true.
you're
That's true.
in Lagos, that can be from like 6 to 9 p.m.
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
traffic.
Mm,
So really, it's so every weekend is not like honeymoon, because
Mm,
it's a
it's
sacred time.
rekindling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but for me,
that's
that's a
true.
big problem, because if we're friends, right? It
it
shouldn't be
shouldn't be
that
a problem.
annoying. Yeah,
That
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not saying
th-
don't have your own me time. Like, we all need me time,
Yeah.
but like being able to just sit down and like be quiet, and I'm on my phone, you're watching TV, like as
Mhm.
friends, that should be.
It's good you're using the word if and friends, not when you are, because it is if. Many are not if you are friends. Many are, oh, I love him because he's so rich. He's so
Ah,
She's so
handsome. And then the man is like, I love her because she's a slay mama. So when after 2 months, mama know they slay.
as in
After 2 months, business is not moving as
it's not
normal.
moving,
And
oh.
some man goes to the toilet and is smelling. There are things happening because you guys were not even real with each other. So when that
Yeah.
yeah.
happens, how many days will you wake up in the morning as the female girlfriend or the babe and go and put makeup and
Exactly.
then come and lie down and put wig
The
so that when
slave.
she sees a beautiful face? And see, by the time you know you start drooling and everything, the man will start
Yeah.
snoring. People will start seeing
Yeah.
their real selves. That's what happened. And then by the time, even if you were friends, almost you have to be okay to build yourself.
but
I
but
don't know.
yeah, but okay, let's interrogate that, even if you're friends. Like,
Mm,
I'm saying that it's okay to have like your own me time, but that your friend is irritating. Like, I mean, maybe I'm idealistic, but I just feel like it shouldn't be like, oh, now we like that you're looking at the person like, who did I marry? Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like it shouldn't be
it
such
shouldn't be.
a shocker to you.
It shouldn't
Yeah.
be. It
Unless you're
shouldn't
already
be.
playing a rematch now, then maybe you'll be a
Uh,
shocker.
it
But if
shouldn't
you're,
be.
you're
It
honest.
shouldn't be because if you have to, because that person is somebody you're living in house with, and if anything happens in the world, God forbid, and
Mm.
or it has even happened self, and you have to be stuck in the house. You don't have anywhere you're going to, and you cannot stand the person. Not that the
Mm.
person irritates you if for a few seconds, though. You cannot stand the person at all.
Yeah.
There's a
Ah,
problem.
there is a problem, oh, because I know people in many countries now. The men used to go and drink so that when they come back, they'll just sleep.
Exactly.
Now
Yeah.
they are there in the house, and how dare you drink in the house?
It's not
Or
even
they
only
used to go
that.
somewhere after work, or the women used to go for Owambe. Like everybody now is in the house, so a lot of people are just coexisting. A lot of people are not
Mm.
actually living because they want to live together. They are just doing, in fact, they're even worse than housemates, because at least housemates get along. This one,
Yeah.
And I
hmm,
think you hit the nail on the head in the sense that it's really the issue of we create activities to distract ourselves from the fact that we
Yeah.
don't have a
there's
good
something
relationship.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
So rather than go home to your wife, you're going home to go and chill with the boys to avoid coming home
Mm,
to talk to her about her feelings, or how you made her, how you offended her or something. You
Yeah.
avoid
yes.
that. Now you can't
No.
do that. So you have to face the woman that you've offended for, I think it's two things. One, you now have to face the one that that maybe you've offended, is now resentful, but you've
Yeah.
avoided
To
for years. Now you're not
Mm,
expecting her to just all of a sudden be so excited.
nice and chummy.
to
Yeah.
I'm
see
like,
you.
I've walked around you for 2 or 3 years now. So you being
Mm,
home doesn't really,
Doesn't
it
move me.
doesn't benefit me. I'm even
exactly, doesn't
upset that you're
yeah.
encroaching my territory.
So this is what like
No.
community,
Like,
like, hiding things is, yeah.
when someone was telling me this year that he's thinking of getting married, I'm like, oh God, are you mad? Like what? Because of Corona? Like you now remember that you need a wife. Not even that you need one, you want one because you want someone to keep you company, to,
Company.
as in to help you with stuff so that you are not lonely. And it's like, men, you like women should not
To
shine that one
help you
chance.
with stuff. Can you imagine?
Exactly. To
Ah,
help you. Like, because you want someone to
no,
be
I
there to say,
understand
oh,
loneliness, so but then to help with stuff.
no,
It
that
will.
No,
marriage
but
stuff.
but even
But after
loneliness
Corona,
too is a problem, because what happens when
mm,
your activities come back?
That's
What
true.
happens
that's what I'm
then?
saying.
Loneliness
When
cannot be the only
for this
reason.
guy, when everything came back, Oga forgot that he was looking for a wife.
Also, he's not married till today.
For where? For where?
Ah, God.
And that's true. That's how men are. Like temporary things. Like they just do, and you move. Yeah, your mind is not in one place. That's how you say you want to marry. Then, okay, maybe 4 months later, you're like, no, I'm in the streets.
I mean,
I beg.
may
Like,
COVID
I
not let
pity
us
the girl
enter
that
one
will,
chance marriages, oh.
as in,
Amen.
I
Oh,
pity, as in,
huh.
no. Me, I
Because
personally
it's going
made
to be
made it a
bad.
point. I will tell the woman to better go back to her father's house. Why are you marrying? This person is not ready.
So I remember someone was telling me that a friend of theirs said that the side chick or him, doing a side away match helped him come home and be less frustrated,
Don't mind them.
right? So now the man doesn't have the outlets to
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 side cheek.
and I'm like, then why did you marry this person? Like, say
Why?
maybe I have like like, if your home is not your safe space, then why did you get into this?
It's
Exactly.
scary. Oh,
What's the
if
point?
you're running away from home, anybody that sees themselves running away from home,
There's a
eh,
problem.
there is a problem. There is a problem. This we need love in 2020, not
As
war.
in,
And
honestly.
if you can't find love in your house because nobody is admitting you into their house, everybody is forming their own bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then where are you going to go to? You have to fix whatever is
Go
wrong in
back
your
to your
house,
home.
because that's
Yeah.
where you're paying rent, and that's the only place they will accept you.
Mm-hmm. I think some people were able to fix their marriages. Some people it
I
messed
think
them.
so. I know
So
a
it
few
depends.
that did.
Yeah.
Yes,
Because you're together, you have to ask questions, confront. Because most people don't like confrontation, but you're in
that
a
is it.
space where you must.
You don't have a choice. You
Oh,
actually
I think it
don't.
depends on your growth and if you value that relationship too, right?
That's another
If you
thing.
are immature, then you will never see that this is something that you can work
yeah.
Because
on.
in this same COVID, there were stories we were reading on Joro where they were bringing the side chick to do house help or to clean
Yeah.
in the spare room.
Anyway, let us jog along to the next like section, and maybe we'll do this one pretty quickly, right? Local gist. Now, this one, the first one is not really. We'll do it very quickly.
Hmm.
Joe Pearl, because she came out again today about
Yeah.
this whole Burna Boy thing. So let's just do a quick round on this one. My own quick round on this one is this. Joe, I don't like when people, you bring the story as if we didn't know you before. You
Mm-hmm.
brought the
Exactly.
story outside on the claim that this is how you get to a better place from a mental
Mm,
Exactly.
standpoint, and
Yeah.
that she also said that they were the only way that she was going to get heard, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can sympathize with your need for the man that you're dealing with, that you love to hear you when he's not hearing you or he's playing game. Completely
yeah.
sympathize with you.
Yes.
But
Yes.
you brought this gist online.
And
Should
you're
you now
so
say that you're not happy that women do not support you,
Support.
that that
Criticize.
black women are criticizing you? I'm like, sister, you don't own how we respond to the gist that you brought out that we don't know
exactly.
about.
Oh,
And even you now readdress, like we've already moved on from this. So why are you
oh,
Yes.
readdressing, and if you claim that you dumped him, because that's what she claimed, that
then why are
Yes.
you making
that she
noise?
then what happened this weekend, should not, you know, I won't say should not pay you, because the fact that they have moved on or chosen to move on doesn't mean that you will not still have,
You don't
feelings
love the
involved.
person still.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but if you've chosen to move on, I feel like this video would have been unnecessary, because yes, you are hurt, but you chose, right,
Mm.
to
Exactly.
move on. So you don't need to come back to us in the socials to give us this speech. But that was my own thing. But I don't know, what do you guys think about this whole Joey, come on,
I
baby
share
girl?
your sentiments because the thing is, even the way she was talking, a lot of her annoyance and her anger came from commenters on her page. The fact that she went and she was being criticized, and people were looking at her as a victim, as no, as she's supposed to be the victim, but they were not treating her like the victim. The
Right.
fact that she said it is her own story to tell, and she decided to tell it, but people are now having the audacity to judge her. Now all these things that she's saying, because I think her annoyance is not even towards Burna Boy, it's towards the world for not taking her story and sympathizing with her.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that is why it is not by force to be everybody's friend. A lot of people are, and we all like, that's why maybe my own summary is there's a level of immaturity, or there is a lack of knowledge of the
Mm,
social media and the world, which surprises
yeah.
me because, like, did she think when people post black and white picture and say challenge accepted, it is that everybody is doing kumbaya? People are
Right.
mean, people are wicked, and if you give them any reason to chat, because they are behind their own computers, they are ready for you, especially in a
Mhm.
year like 2020 where everybody is focusing on, like, pouring out their anger and energy on
Yeah.
things that are not necessary. You come out and you tell us about yourself and your story. You tell us about a partner of yours who we don't know you. We know your partner very well. Your partner has fans. Your partner has people that might not sit down and think logically about it, but blame you. Even in your first video, you even blame yourself for even doing this thing up to this point. And then you
Mhm.
come and you're angry with us, for they're angry with the world. Let me not say us because I wasn't part of the people commenting and all that. You're angry with the people commenting on your page, the blogs that are carrying your story, but you share that information free of charge. You open,
Yeah.
like, you open your house and you're wondering why flies are entering inside the house. Come on, did you put a net? Even if after she told her story, she was private or she blocked comments, that would have been understandable. But then you leave yourself open, and you know that, unfortunately, the people you're even dealing with, apart from women being their worst enemy, sorry to say, who judge, and they are the ones doing the worst, though, but they'll be judging. You then have
Mm,
another group of people who are our lovely country people, Nigerians.
Mm-hmm.
Mouth is bad. There's no filter. There's no think about the other person's feeling, because the way Nigerians grew up, somebody's auntie will tell them it's like you're growing fat, oh, better lose weight before you would not find a husband. That is how they are talking to their niece out of love. So this is the same out of love talk that will come and talk on social media. So I really feel, I pray she just moves on. I thought because after she posted that thing, I thought she was going to move on and make best use of it. And I saw that she started gaining fans rather than haters. And even if she gained haters, there were fans that were defending her. So I thought she would then use that to promote her brand if she wants to be an influencer.
Mm.
But coming
Yeah.
back to readdress the story when the person that the main characters of the story never even bothered to even address it. Ah, bah, Auntie Joe.
Actually, let me even add one thing to what you just said, right? You came out the first time because you wanted to be heard by your man who wasn't hearing you. The only
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
way this coming out was going to get you heard was because we would have put mouth inside.
Exactly.
That's the only way,
Because we need to
right?
make it viral.
Exactly. So you cannot now pick and choose when you want us to put mouth
Uh-uh.
and not put
And you
mouth. It was
cannot
our putting
dictate
mouth.
the amount that we will put.
Exactly. If Steph London did not know you before, because of our putting mouth inside, she now actually had to do a. I think that there was a comment
Exactly.
A
that she made
question
that
answer.
yeah, like who is this? Like
What
who is
kind of
this?
Nollywood is
No,
this?
thank you, thank you. So you got a reaction because we put mouth inside. So don't pick and choose when
Exactly.
you want us to fight for you and when you want us to. As
And
in, we do both.
and don't use your ideologies to expect people to think like you.
Exactly.
People don't think like you. So if you're a nice person, don't expect that the person next to you is nice because that is
Yeah.
not how the world works. There are many
Mm-hmm.
people that are ready to finish you. There are many people that are jealous of you for no reason. That is how
Mm-hmm.
the world works. And there are many people that will tell you the honest truth, whether I like to hear it or not. That's just it. Ah,
Well,
nonsense.
FA, please, do you have
Disappointed me. Oh.
any final
Ah.
thoughts here before we just jump into the next
This Auntie Pearl or whatever her name is, she should just free thing and just use it to make something out of herself. Because obviously she has.
Yes.
I don't understand how you're chasing a man that has not
Uh-uh.
even acknowledged you. Come on, how old is she? She not 20.
23. She's better
And
than
you're
23?
not a baby
she's
now. Come
better
on.
than Burna Boy. Sorry to say. You can't
Ah,
be 23 and be doing all this kind of stress.
exactly.
Normal
She's old.
women,
She should do that.
normal women are calling normal men that are not celebrities come. Then you're not going to go and carry the one that
Eh,
is celebrity.
no.
Abba. Come on, Joe. Hey.
We're tired. Please, this
Salon
2020.
jollof. Don't do that to yourself.
The mother of twins. Mama Ibeji.
I can't
Lulu.
with you
I
people.
beg.
Anyway,
Ah,
let's jog on to our one of our very famous celebrities who
oh
really
my God.
had a challenging 2020. I know we're all saying that business is tough, job is tough, but this particular celebrity really, really, really has been going through a tough time.
Tough times.
He goes by the name Hush Puppy of
Mm-hmm.
Dubai, right?
Hmm.
This year, our Gucci master, giving us back-to-back cars in Dubai, insulting all our celebrities for wearing
For being fake.
fake wristwatch. This year, he messes
Hmm.
what's his Waterloo this
Ah.
year. Hush. I will say this. Maybe I'll go on a different angle. Let me just give props to your friend Bobrisky, because despite all your friends that denied you, Daddy
Stood by
Freeze,
you.
you hosted Daddy Freeze in Dubai. You hosted, or you and Dino had a cordial relationship, but when things were rough,
Hmm.
you know,
They left you hanging.
yeah. But Brisky came out in your defense saying that, regardless of what you may or may not have done, when things were good, she, enjoyed,
Mm-hmm.
from you. So she cannot deny you in this trying time. But Hush, I think you were a good lesson to many Nigerian youths this year.
Hmm.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I feel like, because I think that you were part of the reason that distorted the view, and I keep on saying, whether you're a Ron's
Of
girl
reality. Hmm.
or Yahoo boy, you distort the view of reality in a poor country like Nigeria,
Exactly.
where if you get a entry level job out of the university for 100K, 150K, you are
You're lucky.
actually above
Normal.
your
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that money cannot buy you a Benz in the next 10 years,
Mm-mm.
especially if you add the fact that you may want to have a family, maybe 2 or 3 years after you started
Yeah.
this job. So, and then also buy a house, or get a land or something. So for me, I
Yeah.
feel like people seeing, because I know sometimes in Christianity we have this idea of one day, the people that are doing evil
Mm.
Yeah.
will be their downfall. Even though I struggle with that concept, to be honest, because many evil people are still enjoying life.
Hmm.
But
Definitely.
I think you were a good example that not you can't get away with it for forever.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that was
Ah,
kind of, yeah.
me, what stood out to me in Hush Puppy's stories? 350 million pounds sterlings.
Jesus.
And do you know what? Do you know what they found in his house? They found 30 million pounds. Hey,
Hey.
God. Do you know that's a big money? Even if even if you're sharing it with, how
100
can they
people
find
self.
cash? I swear, 100 people. Hey, Hush Puppy was really, really in it big time. As in,
All it.
I thought, as in he was a Yahoo boy, yeah. But then
Their
this was a
levels.
big abba. As in, he
Invictus
had
will be also on this table, please. Let's just add
uh hmm,
Forbes list.
I'm telling you, as
Hush
in,
puppy.
for you to be so big, you had 11 other people that were there with you doing the work. As in,
Yeah.
it was a company. It
Yeah.
was a company, Hush Puppy and Sons. As in,
Incorporated.
that's FBI, Interpol, Dubai people. They even did a whole video. They did
Yeah.
Trailer.
the
Fox
scam
Sons.
Hollywood.
trailer.
Fox Sons.
Hey, can you imagine? And
Oh,
they
God.
specifically did that trailer to warn people that we are going to get you regardless. As in, they had a name for the operation. I like, to be honest, it's bad, but I commend the intelligence, just that
Yeah.
it's used in a way that is illegal. If not, this is somebody that these are hackers that should be employed by government officials, because for them to be moving such monies, Abba, that guy, oh my God! But I'm so
Was it
happy.
not palliative money that
I
they
was
used to
about to
carry
say
them?
that, yeah, that it was
Ehen,
COVID, either palliative or unemployment benefits in the
Yeah.
yeah,
US, and I'm like, even in this, and maybe it's the greed. In a time where the
Yes.
world is struggling, why
you're
couldn't you have just
correct.
chilled? Just
That
chill
Yeah.
is
up.
it. And can I just address all to do what? All to buy Gucci, all
To
to
Or
buy
Birkin
flex
Brown.
Bentley, all to fly
Step on their
um
necks.
private jets, all to
as
buy what? As in, when will it
small
end?
boy, big boy.
That is why even with
Grace.
30 million in your house, you cannot stop. You have to get more and more and more to show people. Baba,
But it's to keep up
Raymond.
with his mouth, right? Because I said,
That
like, you're
is.
doing something illegal and you are so brazen on social media.
Milo.
I mean,
Hmm.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that our celebrities are good to be living fake life and buying fake watch, but at least we can see their handiwork. Do you get what I'm saying?
That is
You
it.
had no work. You were now blasting all of them, insulting all of them, like
Yeah.
so brazen. Even Momfather is reported or alleged to be a colleague of yours. Momfa
Yeah.
has a legit borrow the change business.
So we can
You
say
didn't
that.
you didn't have any fallback plan,
Hmm,
and you were so bold.
hmm.
That's the
It's
thing.
not good. It's not good. He should have. I Now the other question I want to ask is, why is it that Yahoo boys, Yahoo girls, hush puppies, and the ones that are using pum pum to work, why are they so boastful? Why must you show
That's the
off? Why can't you
thing.
be quiet and be doing your thing? Is it not better?
I think it's
Eh?
the mentality, right? Because I
Mhm.
don't know how many people maybe hunger was the initial ginger,
Yeah.
Motivation,
right?
yeah.
But once you got your first big payout, the fact that you didn't go legit, whether
Calm
you're a Rose
down.
girl or you're a
Mm,
Yahoo boy, to me is a mentality issue. Is that you want to like as you were oppressed? Because I get it. Because in Nigeria, if you don't have money, like
it's
Yeah.
really
the
bad.
insult is
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
So so I can understand maybe from that wanting to oppress those that oppressed you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You go on with the greed. But to me, I feel like that's where you check yourself, because a man that has seen $30 million
Mm-hmm.
from how many hours of work, can that guy
Hmm.
work a 9 to 5? Can he
That's
do
the
a
thing.
That's
legit
just.
business? Because people don't really get what it takes to invest 100 naira in a business and make 110. That means
Yeah. Yeah.
that means
Yes.
you get your capital back, and then 10 naira
Mm-hmm.
extra. People don't really get what it takes to actually do that,
Hustle
right?
hard.
Yeah.
Exactly. So for me, I think that it's also like there is no way you're working a regular job after doing Yahoo, because
Yeah. It's very
the
hard for them.
efforts that it takes to work or do a business and get the
You
returns,
don't know.
you
Yeah.
can't live the same lifestyle. And then
By
our
the way,
friend
what is
circle is
his
important.
status now? Sorry.
It's still in jail.
Oh, Jesus.
The friend, is it Mulberry or whatever, that was more, and again this is back to friend list, because the friend that was arrested alongside, right? He wasn't as loud from what I heard from, like he was more hush really. Um but since it's a network bust down, right? He got
Yeah.
caught in the web, but that one was able to get bail, I think, from a few months ago, get bail or something. But Hush was
Mm.
still, we didn't see any movements on Hush's
Yeah.
case. So I'm like,
Hmm.
I mean, I get the country is hard, but
Calm down. Everybody should just calm down.
that's
Especially when you're
true.
doing something that you know that is against the law or is not, calm
That is
down.
it.
There's
Every
so
day
many
we'll be
Yahoo
told the
Yeah.
same.
people.
One
Like,
day.
Why
so
not,
many
like,
Yahoo
why
guys.
not open like a front? I'm not saying like, but like just the brazenness that, like, there was no front business, there was
Yeah.
nothing, and you were just
Even though
online.
even when there was front, even if there was front business that we did not know, he should have made noise with that front business to the
Yeah.
point where you cannot doubt that that front business is making money.
Huh.
A lot of criminals that are not, like, they've gotten so confident in their criminalities, they don't make sure that their books are lying. That is why a
Yeah.
lot of these drug lords, they do a lot, they
Mm,
invest a lot in
Yeah.
businesses all around, that before you now realize that they are even the ones, as this successful businessman doing, being a drug baron, it will take time and effort.
yeah.
But if you just be opening your mouth, how did you buy it, Oga? In your country is less than $1 a day for majority of the population.
Yeah.
So who are you? Uh-uh.
And even
Hmm.
speaking of front businesses, which by if it's your time, it's your time. Because Invictus tried
Yeah.
the front business idea,
Yeah. And
because
it
he
didn't
was
work
on top
out.
list for a business that and I think it was a tech based business.
Yeah.
But again, in the general bust up, he got. I think it was the bust up, last year, late last year in the US, Houston, Maryland, but
Mm,
they got 80 people. I think
Hmm.
that's where some news came out
Hmm.
yeah, for about him.
about the main, in exchange for, normal thing, in exchange for, reduced sentence,
Sentence.
or things like
Yeah,
that. So
his
eh,
mouth was too much.
the mouth was
Ah,
too
the
much. The
mouth
mouth
was
was
too
too
much.
much.
Ah,
Eh,
bah.
Anyway, let's jog on.
Going on?
The other big story this year in our local celebrity gist was the Banji's rape allegation.
Hmm.
So, I mean, long story short, some lady came out and said that he raped her after a show that he had, where she was staying in a room that was meant to be for his manager, and then he got the key somehow and came in and raped her.
Mm,
And then, yeah, it came out on social media, and the girl was allegedly arrested.
Hmm.
Um,
yeah.
or so she claimed. I think it came to be that she wasn't necessarily arrested. I don't know, but that she was
Mm,
arrested, and to withhold, to prevent her from speaking her truth.
they
And
paid her.
then, or yeah, and then I think there was some talk of there being a payoff, and
Mm,
the band did not, because I think he was about to get an endorsement deal, and he eventually did not get the endorsement deal because of the rape allegations. Where I want to focus on my own take is, I think that, and I may get flack for this, but I don't necessarily believe in, oh, because she claimed rape, so therefore it's 100% true. I don't necessarily
mm,
believe that. But
mm,
where, and until this day, I don't know if the band really raped this lady or not. But I will say this: as someone in a public, in the public eye,
yeah.
the bad, because to me, when rape comes up, it really becomes a character judgment, right,
Yeah.
between the accuser and the alleged abuser. And I feel like the band's handling of the entire issue
Was
to
rubbish.
me did not give me confidence in him not being a rapist.
Hmm.
From, I think maybe a few days after, he put out a video with him dancing, saying, maybe one of his songs about like
Enemies. Yeah.
enemies. I'm like that is, immature at best, but tone deaf as well
Mhm.
for a
Mm.
for a serious rape allegation. So for me, and then the issue of him now using his talks to bully, I can't put it past in the fact that if you have money in Nigeria, you can do anything,
You can do anything.
right?
Yeah.
Mm.
But then it now came out that the girl maybe was invited. It came out to be that maybe the girl's camp or those that were
Mm.
supporting her, DSF and I think maybe Kiki Modi were maybe over what was that?
Sensationalizing it. I mean.
Yeah, exactly, the whole arrest scenario, right? But
Yeah.
I disagree that an arrest occurred. So for me,
Yeah.
I just feel like even if your PR team was advising you to do all this, as the celebrity involved, this could be handled way, way, way better than
Better.
you did. And for the reason that it wasn't handled, I can't give you the benefit of a doubt that you were not that something inappropriate did not occur, which is why you are
Yeah.
cancelled for me in terms of like your like I try to avoid listening to his music generally speaking right now
Yeah.
because of that. Now I will
Mm.
also say, I think you mentioned this last week, FA, is this girl. Now there was a talk of money being involved,
Yeah.
and that's where that also added to more curry in this scenario, because I think, and the reason, because while I don't disagree that you can monetize your pain if that's after all you were on your own before they came to abuse you, right?
Mm.
Mm.
But I feel like one of the groups that were standing behind that, which is the Stand to End Rape initiative, right? They in their policy thing, they are clear that anytime a monetary settlement is involved, they choose to not be involved
Mm.
at that point, right? For reasons best known to them. And I think that when they and because I think there was speculation that was money paid, was money not paid. And I think once I saw them elect to, because I think there was meant to be a meeting of the minds between like the Banj and her team, right?
Mm.
And some of these groups that were supporting her. And I think once I saw Sandra Endrip remove themselves or say that we volunteered to not be part of that sit down, I it seemed to me that money had exchanged hands, and they
Yeah.
and,
Mm.
and they didn't want to be a part of the whole thing. So to me, I thought maybe between her handlers also maybe didn't help her with them being overly emotional about how they handle things. But the
Yeah.
Mm.
Banj as a celebrity, for me, you completely failed in the way you handled this.
Yeah. Messed up.
So if it did you want to add?
I mean, I would. What you said, everything you said, I definitely agree. Like they should have handled this thing better. That's just my own. Like like I wasn't even seeing any. Like it was as if he didn't think anything happened or he didn't do anything. Even if
Right.
nothing happened, at least there are ways to conduct yourself, like you said. So for me, and unfortunately, like I had heard or read some things about him and just how he conducts himself with women and even
Yeah.
how he conducts himself as a person. So I was just like, I don't know, your character is already in question, so I can't really vouch for you.
Hmm. My own issue is the fact that as quickly as the story came, the story died down. This is
Yeah,
the issue with a lot of these rape allegations, in the sense of, as you said, Olori, if one person, and most times it is the offender, if you have enough money and influence to kill the story, you will kill it. And when you kill it, the person ends up even being, I think, worse off, because you're hurt now. You've come out with this story, and you know the stigma behind rape
Mm-hmm.
in
yeah,
in the world even. So it is so sad, because the Banj obviously is a celebrity. He probably has the finances and the ability to kill the story. First of all, as both of you have said, he first of all, he wanted to bully his way out of the thing.
Yeah.
mm,
Luckily, she had the backing of people who would have helped her, and because if she didn't have a bit of that backing, a lot
yeah,
of it would have died down in the first
Yeah.
minute, and
Yeah.
everybody would turn to her and say, "Ah, look at you! What
Cloud
were
chaser.
you, girl? What were you doing there?" But now, because she had people supporting her and movement supporting her, she was able to go this far, which is the problem, especially when it has to do with celebrities. once it is somebody that is influential in any way, the
Mm,
story is always biased, and then they can try to manipulate you, which is so unfair.
yeah.
And now I don't know now what happens because the bunch it seems to have continued his life like normal.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I don't know what has happened to the lady in question,
Right.
because now she has come out and she's still bruised. That's the problem. She was still, if the allegations are true, she has still been gone through an ordeal where it is sad. So it's a shame because a lot of people that come out and say rape, they get shut down and shut out of the world
Yeah.
But
in
how do you
general.
people feel in the sense of, so while I agree that you can monetize your pain, but if you've already collected money to squash the issue, do you still have grounds to keep on coming back out to rehash? And I give an example. Some lady had claimed that Cristiano Ronaldo had raped her or had some sort of
Mm,
inappropriate behavior towards her, and
mm,
I don't know what happened, but they had like a financial settlement, right?
yeah.
And so when the Me Too
Mm,
movement, came back, was hot a few months or maybe late last year, she came back out saying that rehashing, and I'm like, if you've taken if you've said that a particular amount of money is enough to um placate me, maybe
Keep
not,
you keep
but
quiet.
yeah, do you have any moral basis? Because legally you don't, because it typically is a
mm,
don't discuss this anymore, and we give you the money. Do you have any legal,
mm.
any moral basis to still come? Because I mean, it's your pain, yeah, but you've taken, I mean, you've had a negotiation. Like, do you have any basis to still come out and
Yeah.
say, this is my story, this is my truth, yes, you raped me? Like, should you still be adding mouth
Yeah, I think
in?
you can still. Yeah, me, I think you can. I mean, some people would rather keep quiet, and some people are more activists about that kind of thing. So, money doesn't do anything. Money just says, "Oh, we've settled one part." There's still, like, for you, the money. Maybe the money is there because obviously you have lawyers that you have to. It's like this. What's this guy's name? This Dominic Strauss Kahn, like that IMF former
Yeah,
guy.
yeah,
They
yeah,
Mm,
paid
yeah,
the maid now. So date exactly. So date people still think that he didn't rape her. Do you get what I'm saying? And they're like, oh,
yeah,
it's the French government clinical. But the woman still, like, when she does interviews, she still, I think I even watched a documentary recently, and she still
yeah.
comes out. I mean, in general, she wants to not even think about it. So whether it happened or not, to be honest, we'll never know. But it's like she still wants to talk about it. So I think for some people, they are probably like activists, so they just want to talk about it. And for some people, it's like, you know what, I don't want to talk about it.
I
That's
mean,
just that's. I
I
think you
feel
can come out and talk.
I feel some kind of way about it. 'Cause
I
to me,
don't
I
think the
think,
money should shut you.
so. To me, I feel like there are two things, right? If 'Cause I think the Dominic
Mm,
Strauss-Kahn girl, because if you go to a civil lawsuit, right,
yeah.
and you win a civil case, I
Mm,
think you can still talk about it, because that civil case
okay.
acknowledges that something bad
Happen.
happened, and that you're getting
Okay.
compensation for it. But if it's a case of, we handled this
in secret by
under
ourselves out of
the,
court.
yeah, I don't know,
Okay.
like, because to me
I
it feels like you took hush payments. I think, do you get what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
Mm,
but then
yeah.
in life, unfortunately, it's the same way that you were supposed to be a good guy, but you raped me. So that's your cross to bear. That's
fair,
it. Because if you're not
fair,
signing a paper,
fair.
then you can, even when you sign if you're not signing a paper, then there's no legal standing for me for somebody to keep
Mm,
quiet. And it's the same
yeah.
way that a woman would have trusted being in the same room with you to sit down and have a civil conversation, yet you took advantage of her. So
That's fair.
she, in her brain now, she's taking advantage of you, whether it's be more money, whether it's be to destroy you. Anyhow, she finishes you. Unfortunately or fortunately for you, you have to bear your cross, because
Mm-hmm.
next time you will learn not to do it. I know
Do it.
that a lot of time is hush money, but then this is something to do with violation of somebody's body, and it's something to do with
Mm,
emotional and physical assault to the point of you were not in control of yourself, and it is your own body.
yeah.
So if that person feel, I personally, anybody that has been raped, if they like, they should collect money. If they like, they should talk after they collect money. Me, I have
Mm-hmm.
been full support, because when the person was doing the do, he did not know or she did not know, whichever way, how that they were violating you. So unfortunately, as if he said, it doesn't even solve the problem. Still,
Yeah.
no matter how much money you collect, sometimes even if you go and most times you're speaking out so that that person is stopped, so that they don't do that to other
Again.
people. That's the
Yeah.
thing. That's the only way, because a lot of times a lot of people collect money in the initial stages because it's like, okay, this is a
Mm-hmm.
shock. So I collect money, I keep quiet. But then later, maybe something triggers that, maybe especially with
Yeah.
our pastor, who I'm not going to mention, that something happened. The reason why that lady came out, because it's years after, is because she's
Yeah.
seeing that you're doing the same thing to other
Again.
people. So it's
Yeah.
like, now I don't need your money. Now I'm a bigger girl. Now I'm going to come and make noise because you need to stop it, because I know how I felt. And maybe most of these people at this point in time, you have children. You can imagine,
Yeah.
you're now imagining beyond yourself. You're less self-centered and you're more open to say, okay, I have healed from this. I collected your money, so what? But I must deal
Yeah.
with you, so that you need to stop. Because a lot of people, they grow bolder in their sin, just as we said with hot topic. They
Exactly.
grow so
And
bold
there's
that
also
now
a
they are doing it
fraction.
anyhow. Sorry.
Yeah, there's also a fraction of people that also think that, what, why not just speak up? Like, even if they give you money or whatever, like, just speak up so that you can help someone else. So I think that's probably
So
where
that
those
people will
speaking up
even
people
stay
come
away
in.
from
Like,
those people safe.
But
yeah, for
Surely.
those people.
to me, like I'm struggling with the non. Again, if you like, again, I have no issue collecting money for your, like, I have zero issue with it. But it's this whole, well, I'm trying to help people. There, to me, I feel like you're trying to be sanctimonious. Like, to me, I don't know that I make the full leap into um I took my own money, but I'm trying to help others.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't keep
like
quiet
you
now.
could have helped others without, I don't know, like maybe I need
Without
to,
collecting money.
if
Sometimes even this money collection thing, it doesn't even happen in a cordial environment. It is by
Yeah,
force. It is that you shut up. I've given you the money. Better keep quiet. At that point in time, the victim, is already feeling so useless. So they can't even
reject it.
accept or reject. This is somebody they are afraid of.
Mm.
So they are just there. It's later that they, and to be honest, maybe they'll stand up and the next minute they are like, okay, they've maybe come out from the trauma a bit, and they're like, in fact, let me just carry this money and go and spend it. What is
Also,
there?
can I say money is also a way to say sorry, but saying sorry doesn't particularly solve anything. So it's just like,
If
what's
you're
this
going to
woman's
do it
name?
again,
yeah, but maybe because
Yeah,
my,
this Timmy that color's wife now. Like, the guy
yes.
apologized. He didn't get money, but that's sorry. Like, okay, some people money is like sorry, or sorry is like money. But the
Mm,
thing is, she came out after how many years to come and say, okay, this is what happened to me, because she saw that that guy is still doing
it's
this
not
thing.
changing.
yeah,
Do
but
you
to
Yes.
me,
understand? So if the
I feel
person
like,
doesn't stop and the person is also doing the same thing, like, you don't want someone else to suffer.
yeah, but
And
I don't think the guy ever. And it's where I'm trying to go to. I don't think the guy ever apologized to Bukola. So I
no,
think
he
it was just
apologized though. That's
He
kind
back
of
in the
sorry.
day,
apologized.
like
He
Yeah.
back in the day.
apologized
Oh
after
wow.
doing the do. That kind
Yeah.
of, oh, I'm so sorry. You know, that kind of, I'm sorry, I don't know what came
No,
over me
but
Exactly.
kind
no,
of
And
but
she
did
sorry.
she
forgot it.
accept?
Yeah,
Because to
she was
me, I'm
too
like,
traumatized, I think, to even
oh,
accept.
fair, fair,
Yeah.
fair, fair, fair,
But do we
fair.
ever accept sorry? If it's something that damages us, do you ever? I mean, you can say, okay, whatever. Sorry, I forgive you, but you never forget. Then if that thing happens again, that's where that trigger comes in. Maybe
I
because she
think
didn't
so,
talk when
yeah.
Esther came out. Like, it took her how many years to talk? So maybe somebody she knew said something and said, look, this guy, this is what happened. And she's like, he did it to me. I need to, like, we need to talk again. There's no change, or maybe you hear another story that's similar. And it's like,
And
for
it's
me, instead of keeping quiet, I will talk.
and
Like, I
it's the
won't keep quiet,
confidence, because
personally.
most times it's not that you have the confidence to talk at the first time. It's not that you have the confidence to talk the
Exactly, at that
second time.
time.
It's later that
Yeah.
maybe you've built confidence and you're okay,
You've
because
healed all the wounds
yes,
and
because
everything.
sometimes it's not even forgiving the person, it's forgiving yourself for even putting a lot of people, I believe,
Exactly.
who have been
So,
sexually abused, they go through the trauma of
yeah.
blaming themselves for being in the situation. instead of realizing that it is not their fault for what happened, like what happened to them was not their fault. So for her to have then, for you to heal to get to a point, I know some people take
Yeah.
advantage of it, and it's not even take advantage because they've taken advantage of you yourself. So it's like money, and then a lot of people learn along the line that money was not even the solution to their problem. So it's later on they
Yeah, money
start
is never the
realizing.
solution.
So that's when they now realize
Yeah.
that this money itself was stupid money. Then they get out of it.
But I guess my question is,
Yeah.
at what point does it? Because again, while I can understand the case of, okay, he's still doing it, so let me save somebody, like
Mm.
like the Biodun or the alleged Biodun
Yeah.
Case,
scenario.
yeah.
But at what point does it become a but let's say a blackmail thing? Because the way that I look at it, in other, like, let's say for example, like someone steals something from me,
Mm,
right? It's, it hurts me or whatever, and we somehow, maybe family gets involved or whatever, we shall have what seems to be a settlement,
mm.
right? Can I not come back every 2 to 5 years rehashing, like, because I'm not saying that as a rape victim you have to accept apology. No, like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
you
It's
within
true.
your rights can say you violated me, and that's
So
where
I'll
I
deal with
stand.
you for
I'm
life or
not.
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, but in a case where it seems like we've settled something
Mm,
and you keep coming back every 2 to 5 years, so to me,
yeah.
like that that
It
that that feels a bit different to
it's a
me.
blackmail, but then what I'll say, and this might come out as insensitive, is Ogbeni, now you find
Fair,
and come.
fair.
So that's what you
You
get.
bust you,
And
you bust markets.
Yeah.
and if you want to stop the blackmail, you do the right thing and go and get yourself arrested for rape.
Yeah, 'cause
Every
that's the only
blackmail,
Yeah,
way.
exactly.
exactly, every blackmail has an ending
Yeah.
point. It's for you to decide to allow the story come out. That's the thing. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of times people say blackmail, but then if you want to stop the blackmail, you bring the secret out. Secret can come out and then blackmail will stop. But if you don't want to stop the blackmail from coming, you continue to make sure you have that money and you pay
But
up.
if you're
And it's
coming
not
back
a good thing,
every
oh, but
if you're coming back every 2 to 5 years or whatever, right? It also,
mm,
for me, would indicate, like, after we've supposedly settled something, right?
yeah,
To me, it would indicate that even when the person comes out, right?
mm,
While you've lost
Mm.
lost the power of the blackmail, you it still won't fill the void
there's
that you were that,
money in.
that you were looking to fill.